Someone asked a gardener, "How do you grow such beautiful plants?" And he simply replied, "Well, I don't really force them to grow. I just remove what stops them." You see, you don't lack time, you lack focus. Have you ever spent 2, 4, 6, maybe even 8 hours on a project, but you did minimal work? Why? Because 75% of the time, you were just distracted. On your phone, doing something completely irrelevant to the work that you were supposed to do right now. If that sounds familiar to you, it's also familiar for me, sadly. I've been there, I couldn't focus for literally 20 minutes without getting distracted. But right now, I can focus on multiple hours, literally 1 to 2 hours, focus on command. How do I do it? Well, it's pretty simple. You just have to stop getting distracted. And how do you stop getting distracted? Well, just give me a couple of minutes and I'll answer that question for you. 4 hours of focused work is always going to be 12 hours of unproductive and unfocused work. So if you just listen to what I'm about to say right now, this can absolutely and thoroughly change your life. In this video, I'll talk about a first step to getting focus. If you don't understand that first step, you will never ever truly gain focus. And then I'm going to talk about 3 more tips how to gain a ton of focus. And then 2 more bonus tips to help you stick with those habits and boost your productivity as well. I advise you to stick around through all of these tips because there's a ton of value and a ton of gold in this, and I really do not want you to miss it. First step to achieving focus is, this is extremely important, you have to move with intention. Every single thing that you do has to have a meaning behind it. Here's what I advise you to do. Before every single thing that you do, literally every single thing that you want to do, ask yourself a very simple question. Why am I doing this? If you answer that question truthfully, and the truth is that that thing that you're about to do right now is beneficial, go for it. Do it right now. If you answer that question truthfully again, but on the other side of the spectrum, why am I checking my phone right now? Because I want a quick dopamine hit? That's a distraction. You see, the first step to focus is to identify a distraction. We are so stimulated in this day and age that we just literally unconsciously just take our phone out without us even thinking of what we are doing. The first step to focus is to identify a distraction. Self-awareness. Self-awareness is key to building focus. If you move with intention, every single thing that you do has an intention. Okay, I'm doing this thing because of this, because of that. That's going to give you so much mental clarity. And also another question that you should ask is this bringing me closer to my goals or further away? If it's bringing me closer, run to it. If it's bringing me further away, run from it. Simple as that. So now that we understand the first step to focus, how do we actually gain focus? Well, here are 3 tips. Number 1, implement focus hours into your day. Every single day, or every single day where you have a lot of work to do, implement, I like to call them focus hours. 1 to 2 hours, maximum 2 hours per session of deep focus. Say, okay, from 6 to 7:30, no distractions are allowed. I have to get this work done. Why does this work? When your mind knows that you made a deal with yourself, right, from 6 to 7:30, no distractions, it's way easier to actually focus because you actually, you made a deal with your mind, you said it out loud, and you know that's the next step that you should be doing, right? However, one very important thing that I have to highlight if you try to implement your focus hours in the day is to eliminate all the distractions out of the room. It does not matter if you started your focus hours, if your phone is right next to you, if the tabs are open, if the distractions are all around you. Lower exposure to the distractions and do the thing that you're supposed to do. And the reason focus hours should be maximum 2 hours long and then you should take a break is because we as human beings can't really focus for that long. We can focus maybe 4 hours a day, but you have to split it in 2, right? You can't really focus for 4 hours at once. Maybe you can, but that's extremely difficult and that takes just a crazy amount of practice and time. If you can't do for 1 hour, do 30 minutes. If you can't do for 30 minutes, do 15. The most important thing is train your focus like a muscle. Do progressive overload on it. Do 15, then move on to 25, to 35, to 45, to 50. You're already at an hour. If you really suffer with focus, start slow. Start 5 minutes, then 10, then 15, and so on and so forth. Train your focus like a muscle because like every single skill out there in this world, it's trained and you have to train it repetition day in and day out. That's how you gain focus. Now, the second tip is also extremely effective, especially for procrastinators, and that is the 2-minute rule. Now, what the hell is a 2-minute rule? The 2-minute rule is when you just feel distracted or you just procrastinate all the time. You forcefully force yourself to sit down and do the work for 2 minutes. Chances are you'll do more of it. Why? Because your mind is like, okay, well, we're already doing the work. So that means that it's easier for me to continue now. Like, why would I stop now? And this is also amazing for procrastinators, because if you just forcefully sit down for 2 minutes, you will eventually do more of it, because chances are you can't be asked to stop doing it because you already started it. It makes complete sense. But why is the 2-minute rule so effective? Because it only takes 2 minutes, right? It only takes 2 minutes for you to sit down and do the work for 2 minutes, and then you'll see, wow, this wasn't even that bad. It's never as bad as you think it is. Guys, your mind will always lie. It will always say that this thing or this thing is way too difficult, or going there is way too scary. I don't want to go there. In fact, the thing that you're trying to avoid is just so simple, and it's not even difficult, or it's not as difficult or as scary as you think it is. Your mind will always play tricks on you, and you have to have self-control over it. Otherwise, you're just a feather in the wind. The third tip, and this one is an extremely obvious tip, but an extremely effective way to gain a lot of focus, basically on command. And that is to optimize your environment for maximum productivity. You cannot have or implement your focus hours if you live in a dumpster. It's impossible. Organize your environment. Put stuff where they belong. If something belongs in the trash, then throw it in the trash. Don't leave it in your room. Don't leave it in your house. Organize. And also the second thing is quiet space. You have to have quiet space if you want maximum focus. Now, I'm 100% aware that some people live in huge homes with a lot of people, and it's just impossible to have some alone time. And to those people, I can't really help you, because you have to help yourself some way. Either take a book or take a laptop and just go somewhere where there's free Wi-Fi and work there. Try something. I can't really help you, but I'm sure you can find something. Or just tell your family members, please leave me alone just this 1 hour. I'm trying to get some work done. I'm pretty sure that'll work out for you just fine. Now, the 2 bonus tips. Believe me or not, these 2 bonus tips can be just as even more beneficial than these 3 tips that I just laid out for you. And the first bonus tip is, don't be too hard on yourself when you get distracted. Just return to your task immediately. Don't think about it. Don't be guilty like, I can't focus. Just calm down, return to your task immediately, and do the thing that you're supposed to do. Simple as that. And the second bonus tip is actually linked to the first bonus tip, and that is to keep a distraction journal around you. Now, what the hell is a distraction journal? Well, you're gonna write what distracted you. 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in, the phone distracted me. Okay, that's gonna give you so much mental clarity, and you will actually have full awareness. Remember the first step, full awareness of that distraction, so you will know in the future how to battle against it and how to finally overcome it by not doing it again. If you do these 5 tips, or even 2 out of these 5 tips, you will gain so much more focus. Work will feel like relaxation, literally. Alright, just to recap. So the first step to focus is mandatory to move with intention. And self-awareness is key if you want to have quality focus and maximum amount of productivity levels. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Or simply ask yourself, is this bringing me closer to my goals or further away? Implement focus hours into your routine, 1 to 2 hours a day. Train your focus like a muscle. Go from 15 to 30 to 45 to an hour and more. Use the 2-minute rule, extremely effective for procrastinators and for people who can't focus. Simply sit down for 2 minutes forcefully and just do the work. Also, don't forget to work in a quiet room and optimize your environment for maximum amount of productivity levels. And of course, the bonus tips, don't be too hard on yourself after you succumb to those distractions, and finally, keeping that distraction journal around you so you can be so aware of your distractions, so you can finally beat them and focus. Get a lot of work done in a short amount of time, because that's all what we want to have. If this helped, drop a like, comment, and share, subscribe. Appreciate you guys for the support. You guys are legends. And like always, mwah. See you in the next one, my family.